Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural, I didn't say that right, but the first episode of Brent and Chris Talk.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's scary. Should we look at the camera? I think we should.
Yeah,
as
probably.
much as you can. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Tapp, and with me,
Brent Miller.
And together we are Brent and Chris. Let's see. Introduction?
Yeah, I think we should go with that. So I could start. So again, Brent Miller. I'm 32 years old, from East Peoria, Illinois, and I work at a local hospital. Got 2 kids, wonderful kids, twins in fact, and life is good. You, sir?
That's great. I'm also 32 as of today.
That's right. This is a special day.
It is special.
So
Thank you,
special.
sir. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you for spending it with me, recording our first episode.
That's right. That's right. No better place to be.
Thank you. So I also have 2 kids. My son is pretty much a month and a day older than your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a daughter who just turned a year, like last week. I have worked as a shoe cobbler for over 15 years. That's a horrifying fact.
No, it's awesome.
It's something. And
you do some really cool stuff at the shop.
I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun playing with leather. It's got me a lot of really weird opportunities, some of which are political. I get to do my congressman's shoes, and I get to have some really honest conversations with him. And, our congressman is Darren LaHood, one of them. And, he's Republican. He took over after the special election, replacing Aaron Schock.
Yep.
Who I used to do Aaron Schock shoes too. And
Small world.
I guess so.
It's like everyone goes to the shop.
Or it's a small town. And yes, so I get to talk to some politicians every now and then, and that's fun. I also got to sing for a Lincoln Day celebration. It was a Republican fundraiser.
Wow.
And I know, I wore my blue tie.
Yeah.
Just to,
You're trying to be cool.
Yeah. So politically wise, I grew up pretty much a liberal Republican. I don't think that's a thing anymore, and now it's like conservative Democrat.
Yeah, for sure. There's not a whole lot of liberal Republicans anymore. That I know of, anyway.
No, and now I have a huge fascination in politics. So continuing on with the intro, I am in school. I'm going back to school right now, Berklee College of Music, to get my degree in music production and songwriting.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's a lot. That's cool.
It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun. So hopefully the quality of this audio is up to snuff.
It better be. You gotta put that school into work.
Yeah, I actually might edit that out if it's not. We'll see. Anywho, so, me and Brent love to talk about politics. It's something that comes up. I talk about politics a lot. Where we live in Peoria, it's very much a conservative area.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely would agree with that. I mean, I grew up in I'd say staunchly Democratic family. Like most of my dad and everyone's registered as Democrats and have always been that way. And so that's, the atmosphere I grew up in. And so like you say, you grew up with that, and then you're around all these other folks whose families are the complete opposite, and they don't agree with what your family. And again, it's not that everything is completely separate, that, there's no areas where you can be allies. And I think that it's really important to make sure that you just make your opinions heard instead of just choosing one side or the other. So, yeah, and like you're saying, really conservative area overall.
Yeah, and so Darren LaHood, if you look up his rating, he's actually more conservative than his father, Ray LaHood, who was our Secretary of Transportation under Obama. Yep. And, so we're kind of getting more conservative.
At least with that family.
Here, yeah, with that family. I mean, we also have...
Very well known in the...
Jahan Gordon is a great representative we have, and Tammy Duckworth.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So she beat Kirk.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He used to come. The Republican office is like right down the shopping center from my shoe repair place.
So you're kind of cheating.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Say, like, all these people, like, I've never.
That's why the politicians come to get their shoes shined.
That's right. You're like, man, listen to this kid talk.
It's fun. No, it's always great conversations with them, and I disagree with Darren the Hood time to time, and I've no problem very politely telling him, and he has great conversations. We are able to disagree and talk about it, and I think that's so important nowadays, which is one of the reasons we wanted to talk.
Yeah.
Do this vlog. Is it a vlog? What is this?
I think this is a vlog for sure, and I think this is a media platform for us to just get these conversations we have endlessly on the phone to date out there, and just get some of people's opinions and kind of create more of a, I don't know, a forum of sorts for everyone else to contribute their thoughts. And I think at some point it'd be really cool to get some guest input on here, either through chats or people talking.
We're gonna need a bigger room.
No, we're just gonna have them sit here
stand.
Like, right.
They have to stand right here,
right on top of us. For sure.
I love it.
We're like crouched down, like trying not to make it awkward.
Nobody's returning our phone calls. They saw the first episode.
This is a cool room, though, by the way.
Thank you. This is my studio. Nice. So we got
making some music.
Making some music, yeah. So me and Brent actually met first day of 8th grade at the bus stop.
Yeah.
We both had saxophones. I'm sorry, I keep looking at the camera and then our monitor.
We gotta fix that.
I know. I will try to look here.
Yeah.
Or I will try to move the monitor behind the camera so there's no.
It's all good.
It's all good. So yes, me and Brent.
Saxophonists.
Yes, we both play the alto saxophone, and the case is the perfect size for a stool.
Yeah.
Which is so handy at the bus stop.
Such an underrated instrument. People don't play saxophone like they used to. At least that I know of.
Alto saxophone, yeah, I would completely agree.
Yeah.
I think of like funk bands, and they tend to have tenor or bari saxes.
Okay. Then that's just it. You hear a lot of, anything that you would hear music-wise, it's usually the lower ranges that you can get on those instruments. But
yep, they like that growl.
That was a fateful day.
Yeah, it was.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah, no,
all these
totally.
years later.
And then, so we were friends during the whole, like, Jackass craze.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man. I cracked a tailbone flying down his stairs and plastic shopping
My
cart.
dad might watch this, man. Like,
it was fine.
Not too many details.
It was fine. It was all fine.
That's right. We never, got in too much trouble. We had a lot of fun with that. And that's a fateful thing, too. You're like, man, thank God we made it through that. I know other people were doing it too.
I know, and hopefully some of you will relate that are the same age or whatnot. Let's see. Should we talk about like our pool of news so we know?
Sure.
People kind of know.
Give some perspective.
Yeah. Let's see. I do love some HBO news. I love my Vice news. I love my John Oliver. I love my John. Oh wow, that's terrible. Bill Maher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, John Oliver, Bill Maher.
Yeah, all good stuff.
And yeah, Vice News, I think they do a lot of stories that you don't see on other networks, and they can give time to them that other networks don't get the time to give.
Mm-hmm.
At work, though, when I am at work with my colleagues, Republican colleagues, a lot of them, and
great people.
Yes,
love you guys. Shout out
to the shop. We listen to Glenn Beck, which is
you got to get both sides. I mean, honestly, I try to read as much as possible, and I'll let you continue. But of all the different perspectives, because some I won't deny tend to lean one way or the other for the most part. There are some that are fairly impartial, but
I will rail against CNN. No problem.
Yeah.
I have no problem doing that.
And see, I read CNN. I do. That's one of my sources of news.
Yeah, I do too. And there are times I get just as frustrated as when I'm reading Fox News.
You shut it off and you're like, okay, let's go out to... I like the BBC a lot because I think that they have not a completely impartial perspective, but I think at the end of the day, it's something that's a little different than what we would get just from our standard American media. So, yeah, I like the BBC. I check that every day. I listen to NPR, and I read their sources. And
that's what I listen to on my way into work, and then I have to switch to Glenn Beck.
Yep.
And then after Glenn Beck, if you don't know, comes Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, man. Good old Rush.
Yep.
Man, I can't believe he's still alive.
I try to do
as much as he's been yelling into the mic all these years.
I really do want to have like a neutral-ish approach on this, but I do not like Rush Limbaugh. I can't get past that sometimes.
I mean, some of the rhetoric is pretty hard to take, even if you aren't or are a Republican, which, you know, that there's again.
It's his rationale.
Yeah.
Like, listen, and if you've never listened to Rush Limbaugh and you're a liberal, listen to Rush. Know what your Republican counterparts, your Republican family members are getting their news sources from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to like better your attack or anything, which it will do, but like just to empathize and like understand where their knowledge comes from.
Be informed, absolutely. I mean,
so AP is my phone go-to app.
Okay.
Whenever I'm like somewhere and I have to be like really mindful of who's looking at my phone or something, AP. It's my go-to app.
Wow.
Yeah. I always worry like I'm gonna be checking my texts and someone's gonna like read something between me and Chell and like I don't know. I don't want any people to even know what groceries I'm getting. Like it's none of their business.
You're that paranoid?
I guess I don't mean it to be. I just
Privacy is important. I mean, in this day and age especially, and it's only gonna get worse if you look at it from that way. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a problem with a lot of your information getting out there, and I'm guaranteeing you right now, there's hundreds of companies with both of our information through.
Right, and most of the time, I don't care. Like
to some extent, you can't exist without it being that way. So I mean.
Yeah, right. Like put a piece of glitter in like Niagara Falls and it goes in with everything. Like I'm just saying, like when you're in the like torrential flow of data that people get, like
right, it gets lost.
Are you that important? Are you doing that many things that are like it's my face for things you ought not to be doing.
Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, so, okay, news sources, AP, you go BBC phone for your phone.
Yeah.
At home, do you watch the news?
Not like really.
It's my time off the news for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. In the morning, if I'm not really busy with the kids or something, I have a chance to, I will for sure listen to like NPR One on my phone.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get a highlight of what news stories are going around. Because I am curious. I definitely want to know what's going on, because I really feel strongly that it is important to be informed.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you get something out there and get a perspective, because if you don't know what's going on and you want to exist in your own little bubble, then you're going to have to just deal with the consequences of things and not be able to contribute as well to discussion, right? Educated discussion is something that's such a downplayed aspect of social life. Like people just don't have discussion groups. Not that I want to get all like educational, focused on it, but
go for it, man.
I know there's nothing wrong with that. It's really nice to get that from people, and I mean, when you go to, any place and everyone's just kind of.
Yeah. I know.
Hey, did you see that?
Wow.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
So I mean that stuff. I mean, I kind of think it's cool when you have places that say we don't have Wi-Fi, talk to each other. Like, yeah, let's do that. Get a beer. Let's have a conversation.
I have a personal pet peeve, and I don't mean this bad for people who are watching this that do this to me, but it is a personal pet peeve. If you're going to show me something on your phone, no more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
so I made the cut, then I'm good.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, my friends would be like, hey, watch this video, and it's a 10-minute video.
Like, send me that link, man, and I'll watch it on my own time.
I'm not going to stand there and watch your... I'll be at work, too, and I'm like, no!
Should we be shining shoes?
I
fixing
know.
This saddle?
Yes.
Fixing that purse?
Popping rivets.
By the way, they can fix a lot of stuff out there at Shoes.
Thank you. Free plug.
Hey, man.
Plug from the co-host.
Love you, Jeff.
So, let's see here. We've covered the news or the sources we get our news from.
Mm-hmm.
Political affiliations. Yeah, I tend to lean left on a lot of things, but I tell you, I reserve the right to think for myself on issues across the board. I'm not a party loyal anything, really.
Yeah.
I'm a registered Democrat because I wanted to be a part of the primaries.
Yeah, I did register Democrat as well. I vote every which way that makes sense, honestly. And I'm, I think that exercising your vote is absolutely critical. I'm kind of ashamed of people our age who don't vote. I know people who are like, oh, it doesn't matter, or
So
whatever the case may be, but
I got to bring up the debates and what Elizabeth Warren said to the man. I can't remember the guy she even said it to,
yeah,
but she
that's a
said,
shame,
"I
isn't
don't
it?
understand."
There's too many of them.
There are. We should try to name.
We'll
Get
see.
that. Yeah.
We'll see.
She said, Elizabeth Warren, during the debate, first night of the second round of debates, which CNN did by a random block draw out of a bag. I don't know. It was so CNN. Anywho, Elizabeth Warren said to the man, I don't know why you bother running for office when you are spending all your time saying we can't do these things and stuff like that. And she said, let's give people a reason to show up to vote.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is what is missing on the left, whereas the right, I mean, like, Donald Trump said, let's build a wall, let's have someone else pay for it. Like, those are big ideas. Like, regardless liking them or not, they're big ideas.
Yep.
And, no comment if it hurt him. Anyways, I'm just saying, what the left needs to do is give us big ideas, give us something we can be like, yes,
yeah,
I want to believe in that. Not, oh, yay, we're going to make things this little bit much better.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, those debates, a lot of the same thing was said, you know. But I mean, they, of course, are along the same political affiliation and support one another's, in principle, their plans. But there's disagreement. I think the main thing there was nobody was really standing out as I have a firm, I hate to say it the way Warren does, which that kind of annoys me, I have a plan, right?
Right.
Like they don't necessarily always give us the information we need to make a decision. It's such a crazy thing now, too, with having 10 people out there and they're trying to manage the circus of a debate. So I mean,
please give us a policy answer in 15 seconds.
Right. So I mean,
that's not a debate. That's like a circus.
They're plugs. It's all just plugs back and forth, and the
Yep.
attacks you get, people don't. And it's hard. I know people are criticizing Biden, for example, for completely obeying the rules and then stopping when they told him the mediators told him to. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you expect them to follow the rules? I mean, you want things to keep running off the rails where people don't follow the rules in certain, parts of our current administration. So,
what are your thoughts on Biden?
I think that overall,
a savior for the Democratic Party.
No, he's definitely not. I have major reservations. When I wished he had ran the first time instead of
that
Hillary.
was the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the timing was so much better then, and now just some of the stumbling with how he handled certain situations with comments he made, how he handled incarceration, when he was a younger congressman.
Yeah.
And I think not having a firm way to answer those things, which he knew was going to come up, and then telling, go look at your record, back to Booker, it's like, okay, well, look at your record on this, look at your record on that, not just go look at your record. Like, stop throwing little jabs and, like, give him something.
I know. And like, that's the other issue I have with those jabs is, like, they're not nuanced. You can't look at the entire bill that they voted for or against and, like, what amendments were added. You can easily draw and this is for anybody. Like, you can do this for the right, you can do this for the left. It's just, you need more time to talk about those situations. They should have had 3 nights.
Yeah.
And divided the people even more. 4 nights, like...
How about Bernie and Warren, though? Like, it was almost like they were back-to-back, circling.
I know,
and fending off other people, and you're like, come on.
Yeah.
I really don't like that at this point if they're trying to distinguish themselves, because it's almost like they're like, okay, if we don't attack one another, we'll both make it through this round.
So do you know about Warren? Not Warren. Do you just know kind of her backstory?
I know I believe she was a faculty at Harvard.
Before that, she taught special education, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And,
did not know that.
I want to say her dad was a janitor or something along those lines, and her mom was a stay-at-home mom. I mean, very humble beginnings, and
wow.
she was a teacher then, and then she, I think, went to Harvard, ended up teaching at Harvard when Obama set up the Consumer Finance.
Protection Agency.
Yes.
Yep.
He wanted Warren to run it.
Oh, okay.
And Mitch McConnell has like this thing where we're not very excited about Elizabeth Warren. And
I like that impression.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to do that one again. We're gonna have to get you like a little get up though.
A jowl.
Doing that, yeah, yeah. The turkey neck.
Turtle shell.
Love that.
And and then she ran, and now she's a senator. Now she's a senator.
Correct.
Yeah, and so that didn't work out very well for Mitch.
Yeah. You know, he's a very interesting guy too. I've been listening to some different segments recently on NPR about him and how he got his start in Kentucky. I can't remember the exact first political office he ran for, but he needed support. The story went, and again, with all this, you take it with a grain of salt, but they interviewed a guy from the local union, and he needed union support because Kentucky at that time was like straight Democrats, and he was trying to unseat an incumbent, and the union person said he straight up committed to doing pushing some of the legislation that they saw as critical in Kentucky to protect workers' rights, and at the end of the day, he got that support, won the election, and then when he did not support certain pieces of legislation, they were mad at him about that, and they confronted him, and the guy in the union said that he basically said, well, no, you misunderstood me, and I said that if it was signed into law, I would support those parts of legislation. Which at the end of the day, yeah, you would have to then, because that's your job.
Right.
So I mean, again, this is
And when when this is time wise?
I don't know how long he's been. He's been in office for quite some time. I want to say 80s, early 80s.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, a lot of there's more behind the covers with a lot of these. I mean, you were talking about Biden earlier.
Yep.
There's a whole lot that's been coming out about his sons running some, I don't know if it's a hedge fund or something, and they were basically, reportedly using it as a front to solicit foreign contributions to the Biden political machine, which, how distasteful is that? Because we're complaining about having Russians interfering, which of course they are, right? Everyone with a brain listening to the intelligence community will agree the Russians have been screwing with our electorate.
And I think I'm not holding out for collusion or I'm not holding up for Trump got the call from Vlad and was like, let's do the thing. Right. I don't care. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's not
There's no smoking gun there.
Yes, but come on. Russia is meddling with our elections.
Gotta deal with it.
Yes, and I don't know the guy's name on Fox very well. Shep.
I don't know.
I don't know the guy's name, but he called out Mitch McConnell. He called him whatever the name they call him, Russian. I don't know Mitch's nicknames, but even Fox is calling Mitch out.
Yeah, and Trump was mad about some of the polling that came out through Fox because it was showing. He was losing, and I think at the end of the day, you have to realize that not everyone, even though that they're going to support him on so many different things, it gets to a certain level where you can't deny the truth. Facts are facts, and that's something that.
No, I think we're past. I hate to say it, but who cares about the facts? That's how do you make people care about the facts?
Well, people don't today value fact-based evidence, especially with social media. I mean, how many times you see somebody forward something and it's just absolutely ridiculous? You're like, come on. And I'm guilty of this, finding the truth, right, the fact, and then posting snoops or whatever the case may be to say, hey, I know this, I don't want to be rude, but you should research before you just spread forth this nonsense that it's confusing people, because if somebody trusts you, they're your friend, and they're reading that you forwarded this, they're gonna just believe it, right? Necessarily. Yeah. Most of the time, I would believe, so.
And that's the I encourage everyone, hold yourself to a standard of you want to be right. You want to know what you're saying is correct, or preface it as such that it's an opinion.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your opinion either. Because we're all entitled to our own trains of thought. I mean, I love a good-natured debate. You call it an argument, whatever, as long as it's not something where you're in each other's faces yelling and screaming, that's fine. It's okay to disagree, and it's okay to not find common ground in everything. But at the end of the day, get yourself to a point where you've got solid information.
I'm gonna quote Brene Brown. To those who know Brene Brown, she's pretty cool. And she has a thing on Netflix now. Anyways, she says, "Speak truth to bullshit, but be kind."
Oh,
I think that's such a dead-on approach to where we're at.
nice.
Like, I don't know what people... I don't know why people don't care about the Russia thing. I think about it like this, like, we're so entrenched in our sides that if Russia's helping Republicans don't seem to care. Like, they accuse... I think that's one of the weird things, like, Republicans say is liberals are for immigration because they largely...
Oh, they want the votes.
They want the votes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that is...
I think it's true. We'd have to check. I think it's true that, for the most part, folks that immigrate and then become citizens and can vote do probably vote more liberal than not. Not to say they all do.
Not Melania.
Right. I would bet that she's... Wouldn't that be hilarious? If she's going in and she's like, "Oh my God, Bernie, please. We got to get this son of a bitch out of here."
Yeah. I know.
But, so, yeah, I just think that at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we're just doing the right thing with this stuff.
Yeah. I feel bad for Melania just because her whole thing that she wanted to tackle, like her big thing, I should say, not her whole thing, but was online bullying.
Yes.
That is ironic at best.
And what happened? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think that's what came out. Everyone was like, "You were really going to try to tell us that you want to stop bullying. Tell your husband to shut his mouth about calling people names." Like, how childish is that? When was the last time anybody that's actually watching this has sat back and said, "Man, that person is a loser," or whatever? It's like,
what happened to the whole
crazy whatever
president? The buck stops here. Is that Truman?
I think so.
What happened to that? Like, I don't understand how Trump can call out Baltimore. Like, is he not president of Baltimore?
Well, and it was the phrasing. Like, there are issues in Baltimore, but you should have said, okay, the poor city of Baltimore has issues. Why wouldn't Elijah... If he's really wants to phrase it in a way that... Tell Cummings to focus on his own thing instead of investigating me. Like, if that's really your issue, like, you could word it in a way that's not completely offensive.
Because it's very hard to walk and chew gum for Trump, apparently.
I don't think he pays a speechwriter,
like,
or people to tell him how to say things. I think it's just completely unfiltered, which I don't... Not that I expect... I think Barack kind of had, like, an internal filter, which was kind of weird. At times you see him speaking up there and having his very measured level of speech. And, it's...
The pause.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like robotic.
Yeah.
Maybe he was an android or something. But,
I don't claim Obama was, like, the best president ever.
Yeah, you need someone to help guide that, though, if you really can't filter yourself.
No, I agree.
Or align with policies and, like, not create chaos in your administration where they can't even, like, do... I bet you so many things are not getting done that he probably wants to get done because people are, like, trying to figure out how to figure out which way he's going to say what next.
Look at the number of Republican congressmen who aren't seeking re-election.
Yeah, I think it speaks a lot to people... Yeah, we hear a lot about disunity in the Democratic Party, which I agree. Absolutely, there's a great amount, and I think that's probably Trump's greatest strength right now, is that he's got a solid economy, he's got jobs,
His
low unemployment.
approval rating among Republicans is ridiculously high.
So he's going to get that solid vote, and I think that bodes in his favor. But you look at it on the other side, even though everyone on the Republican side seems to be falling in line with the troops are falling in line. These people resigning or not seeking re-election, just getting out. I feel like they're kind of like washing their hands. They don't even want to be a part of it anymore.
They're afraid to get attacked by the president.
Coming. Yeah,
and
if you don't align with them, because
yes.
if you don't sip the Trump Kool-Aid,
yep,
and go along with it and have him come out and rally for you, then he's going to go against you, and you're not going to win because the voters on the Republican side because of that approval rating. I think that just drives us right down the line.
So let's do a thing. Let's see how many Democrats we can name that are currently
Got
running.
My pad and paper here. We're gonna write these down.
Okay, we'll do this together.
Okay, yeah.
There are 20?
20 of them, I believe.
That's crazy. So anybody we can't think of... Oh, I just hit the mic. Sorry about that.
You should be able to edit that out.
I don't know. It's going to be a loud pop. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do...
What did you go to school for?
I know. I don't know if we're going to do a blog, too, or, like, just an audio cast of this, because there's no visual things people are missing out on.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
Well, except for these faces.
That was a plan. So, maybe there'll be an audio thing. Let us know if like, we're going to be going pretty long on this one just because it's our first one and we don't know what we're doing. So we're figuring it out. But, you know, if you're not going to watch a 30-40 minute video and you would listen to it, let us know.
Yep,
I can do
sure.
that. I can do the audio. Let me know where you like to get your podcast from. That's what it's called, podcast. Yeah. Let me know where you get your podcast from, and I'll try to get it up there. I don't want to make it everywhere, because I'd like to try and get people going through the same doors, if we could.
Right. Network.
Okay, so, without further ado, naming the 2020 Democratic primary candidates.
Yep. All right. So, Biden. Yep.
We got Bernie.
Yep.
We got Warren.
Yep.
We got Booker.
Yep. I was just going to say that.
Got Harris.
Wang.
Yeah.
And Julian Castro.
Yep. Julian Castro, yep. Buttigieg.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to spell that, but I'm just going to write it close. Go Mayor Pete.
I know. I like Mayor Pete, too.
But we'll see if he stands a chance. Gotta keep that money train rolling.
You know, the one thing I don't like about Mayor Pete, the corporate donors.
Well, you know...
He's going old school.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, he realized, though, that he doesn't have the, I think, personally, name recognition to garner the grassroots movement that he would need to bring in the funds.
He doesn't. He didn't. He didn't at the time. I don't know if he does now.
I think that's what some of the others that are barely even polling. There's a senator. I can't remember her. Is it Klobuchar?
Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah.
Klobuchar.
I'm gonna write that one down.
She's Wisconsin?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna claim to know that, but she's not, polling well at all. She definitely won't be in September unless a miracle happens, because I think it's name recognition. I'd never heard of her before this.
What's the spiritual lady?
The author?
Yeah.
Harris?
Is that her name?
I think that's her last name.
She's funny.
She was interesting in that last debate round. I don't know. It's like she was trying to be Oprah's spiritual leader.
I have no problem talking about energy. I love the metaphysical world. That's great stuff.
Sure, there's a lot going on.
Don't know if I want the president to, though.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. We don't want her dangling crystals in the freaking cabinet room saying, hey guys, should we be going to war with these folks? Like, what's the spirit telling you?
Not down with that. Ouija board?
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's not going to work.
So
that's why she's not going to be there in September.
Okay.
I'll call him that one right now.
Let's see this list. I don't know what to name the same names. We're over halfway.
Yeah, we got 10.
De Blasio.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he's
There's Hoopin something. Gosh darn it, I can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. Hoopin.
He was the former governor of Colorado, I believe. I don't know. I'm going to write Hoopin.
Half point.
Yeah, we'll count that as a half. That was 11.5, not 12.
What's that? There's the young hair one, too, that, like, is from California. And he's the one that told Biden that, you came to my town and said it's time for the next generation. I don't know either. I know his face.
We can't count that one.
There's the two. I know.
I'm not going to draw his face.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. There's the two guys that don't have any chance below them.
Yeah, I think we're getting into territory where we just don't know anybody.
Do we do Gillibrand?
No. Oh, yes.
I don't like her.
No.
Honestly, I don't know. People, you can disagree with me. I didn't think the Al Franken thing was handled good.
It was not. And I think now, that's something I also heard recently. Al Franken came out saying he regretted resigning. I think that rightfully so. Not that part. Rightfully so. Others were commenting that they wish that they had gotten all the facts before they
Was that
had
New York
cast
Times?
judgment.
Someone
I
did
don't
an
know the
article
source.
recently, and they said
It was
it's
a reputable source.
the argument that he could have presented if he had chose to.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He didn't really fight for himself.
Yeah.
He kind of got
He just
pushed out in
took
the
it.
wave of the Me Too movement.
Yep.
And like that lady that did it, she's close friends with Bill O'Reilly. She had close ties with Bill O'Reilly that called him out for all those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there was a few, but
I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but at the end of the day, I think that it was pretty hasty. But I think it was also timing. Like you said, the Me Too movement was just on fire at that point, and anybody that was in the crosshairs was just gonna get
and
lit up.
Democrats die on principles.
Yeah,
so
I'm not gonna argue
often.
whether that was right or wrong. Because
Trump called him called out he could shoot somebody. What do you say? I could shoot someone on.
Oh,
It was like during the first campaign cycle.
right.
But I could shoot someone on
Whatever.
Yeah, and they'd still get elected. He's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I really think he was right. He probably could have pulled someone up there he hated, like shot a reporter, and they would have been like,
No, I don't get that. I
I don't know. I mean, some of the fans on that side are a little rabid, unfortunately.
We got. I'm sorry. Double checking. We have. I think we got like most
13.
people I know.
Yeah, I don't. No other major players are sticking out. I'm sure we're probably forgetting somebody.
I know. I feel bad too. It's probably like some.
I
Like,
don't.
I guess, yeah, I know.
Because in another month, we won't probably ever hear from him again.
No, you're right.
You know, not that I don't care about anybody, but hey, at the end of the day, when it comes to president,
What about what do you think about Wang, Andrew Wang?
I mean, it's not that he can't speak well. I just think that there's,
I think he's ahead of his time.
there's a lot of people who are a little averse to some of the.
Universal income. I really do think that's where it's gonna end up going.
Well, at some point, everyone kind of like just shies away from that whole thing because it's like another social program, right? Which I think personally, I'm a fan. We've talked about this of more of a blended approach with government and like people having to take care of their own selves to some extent. Like we have certain things like healthcare, I think should be universal in the sense that you should have a certain level of healthcare that you're guaranteed because especially with the way medical science is today, a lot of people are literally going to have shorter lives or die unnecessarily because they can't get the healthcare that they need.
And it's what I mean.
And it's
Like,
not right. You know, we all deserve. What is our life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
Yeah.
Life was number one. So
there are things I believe should be not allowed to be made profit in this country.
sure.
I think protection, like our military doesn't make a profit off our. Well, they probably do, but the point is.
Oh man, the military industrial complex.
paid
We're
for.
getting down a rabbit hole. Let's
I
not
know.
go too far.
Okay, it's paid for by taxes, though. That's my point.
Yeah,
Paid
absolutely.
for by taxes.
Yeah.
I think education needs to be in that because we want to be a smart country. Can
John
we just
Adams-
agree on that?
John Adams was a fan of everyone. Education was one of the things he wanted to write into the Constitution.
Let's be proud of
So-
what we know. Let's be proud that we're a smart country, not like a.
Yeah. Don't beat up the geeks, man, because someday they're going to be your boss.
I know. Right.
That kind of thing is real. Like, it's important.
So education,
Yep.
protection,
Yep.
and healthcare.
Right.
I think those are the three things that we should not. I mean, obviously there are other things. I am not for
Yeah, we're not.
for-profit prisons. That's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I
You take
honestly,
too far.
I'm not a fan of charter schools.
No, not necessarily.
I think that was just
Private schools are fine if you want to pay for your child to get a different education, but public schools should not be like ripped apart and defunded because the government thinks there's something wrong with the system. I mean, there's systematic changes that probably could be made, but don't dismantle things that, produce tons of well-educated kids every year.
I'm gonna step on toes. I'm gonna step on toes a lot. I feel like on this thing, but I am for there must be an accepted science that we teach in this country, like period. Like there needs to be if you have to do like evolution, which I think we gotta go with evolution. Everybody, I think that's the one that's gonna win. I think you have to talk about it. I don't think you can have schools not talk about that.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, again, I think we're getting a little deep on that, but at the end of the day, I think you really can't not have complete, I'll call it just complete complete science taught to somebody. Like the basics of everything. You should know something about astronomy.
Just so we're all on the same page.
Correct. You should know something about biology. You should know something about chemistry. Like you should know something about all these things.
You can learn about other religions.
Correct. And you can go... religion, I think, is shit. There's nothing wrong with if you want to offer electives or something that goes into like philosophy or religious studies. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I think spiritual exploration and understanding of, there's so many other things to go and do there that are important.
Before we get too far away from it,
let's go back
because we're bad at
this. Let's veer this thing back.
Our goal is to be no longer than an hour at this point.
Yeah,
we can do it, folks.
We're gonna definitely do that.
We're gonna find the ones we missed. I'm gonna use this website often. I believe it's called 538. It's a polling website, and to cite my sources, and I wanted to check it, so I at least Googled it, and quoting Wikipedia. This site and its founder are best known for election forecasts, including the 2012 presidential election, in which 538 correctly predicted the winner in all 50 states on the eve of the 2016 election.
That's cool. Statistics. That's cool. I think I've heard of this before. I just, we wanted to make sure we were providing anything we talk about in here. We want to make sure it's reputable. We're not going to go on the fringes. I know people have their opinions about all the mainstream media is just corrupt and feeding you lies. Well, I'm sure there is some bullshit on there, but at the end of the day, the mainstream media is really the reputable sources. Those are the ones that have the infrastructure to provide sources and are, credited, right? These are not accredited, but they're, at the end of the day, they are respected news sources, and that's what we're going to go with.
So I need to correct myself already.
That's a great way to start.
I know. So, okay, it was the 2012 election that 538 correctly predicted all 50 states.
Okay.
On the 2016 election, on the eve,
yes,
they gave Hillary Clinton a 71% chance.
Everybody did.
And Donald Trump a 20%. I know. I don't feel... I saw, again, polls aren't perfect, and this is the site we are using for our information.
Polls are never perfect, right? Never.
Yeah, and if you want to check our
Especially
data...
exit polls.
Go check.
Yeah.
And if you have better data that you want us to draw from, or your own information, we'd love to check it out.
Yep.
Let us know. So, okay, let's see who we forgot here. We had Biden, we had Sanders, we had Warren, we had Harris, we had Buttigieg, O'Rourke. Yep. Here's my thing. Why are we going to put a guy up that couldn't win against Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz couldn't win against Trump.
No, he was just riding a wave, man. I mean, he went on that hippie whatever spiritual finding quest, which I'm not poo-pooing that if that's what you want to do. I mean, who knows? I may want to do one myself someday. But I think his timing on that was terrible because it made him look like he was just going off in La La Land. The president cannot do that.
If you have to relaunch your campaigns, don't. Just don't. Stop. That didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, so O'Rourke. We did Booker.
Out.
Gabbard?
We didn't get Gabbard, nope.
Tulsi Gabbard?
Oh, she's the...
We did.
Hawaiian, I think she's in the House of Representatives. Former Marine. Maybe?
Yang, we got. Castro, we got.
Yep.
Klobuchar.
Yep.
Gillibrand, right? That was the one that got Franken.
Yes. Oh, no, we got her.
Yeah. Delaney.
Yep, we got Delaney.
Inslee?
No, we did not get Inslee.
Williamson? I don't even know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
No clue. Ryan? Bennett? Bullock? Steyer? Hickenlooper.
There's my guy.
Dang.
Hickenlooper. I put Hooper.
Yeah. Gravel. Messam. Moulton. De Blasio. We had in Sestak.
Yeah, I've never heard of that person.
0%. Wow. So,
not
and
well.
Honestly, it's Biden is polling at 28%. Sanders we have at 16%. Warren we have at 8%. Harris we have at 8%. Buttigieg at 3%. O'Rourke's at 3%. Booker's at 3%. Gabbard's at 3%. Yang's at 2%. Castro's at 1%. Everything below Castro's at 1%.
The first three we named, Biden, Bernie, and Warren, are the top three. And those three are the ones that are going to be fighting it out for the primary.
I like Elizabeth Warren as a person. I wish she was she's a little weird. Maybe that's okay.
I don't like the way she comes off sometimes.
I worry about her in the debate with Trump.
That's for sure. I think she might get her butt handed to her.
And not because she's not smart. She's the smartest girl in the room
correct.
most of the time. Like, she's great. Like,
she's smarter than Bernie, but I think Bernie might probably do the best out of the three of them right now. The way I've seen, Biden seems like he's
trips on himself.
Aged a little bit. Maybe that's the wrong word.
No.
Maybe he's just not sharp. Not in the aging sense, but maybe he's just not sharp now.
I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to, but they were talking about the Mueller hearings.
Yep.
And they were saying Mueller just seems so old, and I didn't get that. I didn't really get that.
No. I know where they're coming from, but I didn't get that either.
Have you ever written anything 400 pages?
No.
Or assembled, or whatever? Have you ever been a part of anything that's 400 pages? I have not. I don't think I could recall things from it.
Well, no, that wasn't my issue. I think some of the way what I heard was more like just his voice sounded weaker, and people age. He's an older guy. I don't know how old he is, but he's an older guy. He led the FBI for how many years?
Yes.
Like, how stressful do you think that is?
And go look up some of the old, because he's testified before Congress numerous times. Go look up some of those videos, because I do understand now after watching.
Sure.
And that's us. That's Biden for us.
Yep, that's right.
Like,
he's Uncle Joe.
It's so creepy. You never want to be Uncle anything.
Yeah, not really.
Do you?
No, not really. At least, yeah.
I mean, there's the fun uncle.
Yeah.
And then there's, like...
I'm fun Uncle Brent. That was just creepy.
It is creepy. Like, ants are different.
Yeah, like what do the British call it? A dotty ant?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little crazy.
Yeah.
I like that. Crazy ants are cool.
Dottering.
Yeah, right.
So,
all right. Cool.
That's most of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk more and more and more, but like...
Yeah, I think this is a good point to wrap it up.
So we have a show point that we were going to try to get to.
Yeah.
And that is allies.
Yeah.
Let's do our segment.
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I wanted to do allies for our first episode is because I keep getting invites on social media. And most of the time it's because I ask questions or because I want more information, and I'm immediately told that I don't deserve to call myself an ally because I want more information.
Yeah.
So last time this happened, I brought up France during the Iraq invasion in, 2006? 2004? 2004, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We went and invaded Iraq because we said they had...
weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, the weapons we found were from years earlier.
I think just definitively would prove they didn't have nukes or like heavy chemical
Yeah, we found
weapons.
Chemical weapons from an earlier Civil War they had,
like
or something,
modern.
Gulf War maybe.
Yeah.
And most of them didn't work. Now, France, Canada, Germany, they didn't come with us to that war.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but like for a while we called French fries freedom fries.
Right.
Because
everyone was pissed off because they didn't want to.
And that was actually some House chairman guy changed the name in the Capitol building.
Right.
To freedom fries.
Right, because he was trying to.
And as the approval and support for Iraq fell, French fries came back.
Yeah, that didn't stick, that's for sure.
It's a terrible name, freedom fries.
Yeah.
It's too much, too many syllables.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it just proves, though, that if you have real, genuine allies or people that actually have principled values, they're going to call you out when you don't make sense. I would expect that of you. Like, if I say something crazy,
Same.
I'd want you to say, hey, man, you need to, like, take a step back and just think about what you just said.
Right,
and we all have those moments. It happens, but...
Yeah, and that's not bad, and that's not a bad thing to do. Like, I just get so frustrated when people get so entrenched in their own views that anybody who stops to question it is immediately painted as an enemy. Mm-hmm. That is not... It's not the way an ally works.
Yeah, there should not be, like, an instant bridge burning. Like, it's just a conflagration as soon as you, like, disagree with someone on something. It's like, well, no, why do you think that? Understand their points and perspective. Now, that's something I get frustrated with and get into a lot with certain folks online. In particular, I hate the medium online. That's what I was talking about earlier with, like, have an educated thought discussion. Like our phone conversations are great because if we disagree, we can talk it out and figure out what's going on.
And there's two people.
Online, yeah, it's just like straight up one person says something and then someone else disagrees, and I get frustrated when people are just like the whole news thing we were talking about. People say, well, what do you just read CNN? It's like, no, I quote what I'm saying based on, like, I form my opinions of multiple sources because I don't want to just take one perspective on something. It's because people write that. It's all human content.
Here's at the Mueller hearings, I know this is going to be old news by the time this is out, but like the Mueller hearings to me was political theater that the left needed to do because our Attorney General William Barr came out and gave the biggest pile of misinformation that came from a public. It was just wrong.
It was unfortunate, and there was a lot of hope too when he came in.
There was
that he wasn't going to be a total piece of crap. And again, I don't want to just go down that route either, but it's true, right?
It was bad. It was
terrible.
Bad. And that's why Mueller got hauled before Congress so the Democrats could literally, I love people said, well, they didn't find out anything new. If you look at the study, I think it's 94% of Americans haven't read the Mueller report.
Yeah.
So it was to literally get it on TV.
He couldn't say anything more though because the Justice Department barred him. They straight up they threatened him with legal action if he said anything outside of that report, which again, it came out. Barr said what he said about it, right? That was mischaracterization for sure, because then immediately Mueller came out with his own letter saying, hey, that was not what I meant by these certain things.
Yeah.
And I think even with that, he was probably limited and probably had to have that letter reviewed before he could put it out there. So I think there's a lot going on to make sure we don't just get a flat out, straight up answer, to this. And that, even if you don't read the report and don't understand about the 10 different counts of almost certain obstruction of justice by the sitting president, which is astonishing to even say. Why are we even asking that? Why are they? If it was 3, it'd be whatever. That 10.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm getting off point.
No, you're not. This is a good point. We should do this.
Yeah.
And allies may be a terrible topic. We got what we wanted on there, but
allies are important.
Yes, and I just
Friends.
want you to question. People are so in league with Trump. I don't know how it's not going to harm a lot of Republicans' career. Because Trump did lose the popular vote, and the only reason I'm saying that is there is a large number of people in this country that don't agree with him.
I've heard it said before that time is the true judge of things, and I think that it's just timing with all this stuff, with what's going on. I think there's a wave of people who are just online with it, and I've heard it said that if I don't care what he does with whatever, I don't care what he says to people, I don't care how he acts, as long as the economy's doing well. I've heard that said from people that are very well-to-do.
Same.
And, that's just a very short-sighted, unsustainable approach.
I would encourage you to think, would you be comfortable if there was somebody of the left that was willing to do the same thing in there?
Well, that's what's going to happen.
It is what's going to happen.
It's because now we've created one way that's super polarized. Now we got people in the Democratic debate saying, yeah, I'm going to Clorox the whole Oval Office as soon as I get in there. It's okay. I don't think he's totally riddled with freaking fleas or something, but at the end of the day, it's that's what it is. It's going to be a complete backlash. If he doesn't get reelected, it's going to be a backlash, and then they're going to drain the swamp again from the other angle. Right?
I hate I get the whole pendulum theory, and I get it. And I get that's why the logical shift right now would be a moderate left person. That's the pendulum just coming back.
Well, it's sort of like the Supreme Court,
whack.
right? Nobody thought Roberts was going to be the moderate mediator type vote. But
and now
he sort of has become the only hope for that.
Now our hope is Gorsuch. I get it. That's the one thing I do think Democrats need to really consider. I don't care about the infighting so much. I do really care that I couldn't watch the debates because they were on CNN, and I don't have cable. We're Netflix people. We do Amazon Prime and Hulu.
You could watch it streamed on the website. That's how I did it.
You have to have a cable subscription.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe mine logged in. I didn't realize it. Sorry.
And it's not on YouTube. It's been a few days, and I still can't watch the whole debates. And how is that inclusive?
Yeah, that's pretty crappy.
How is that part of
You shouldn't be trying to force people to pay for a subscription or that kind of thing. I mean...
It's a ratings thing for CNN, and I hate that they're making ratings off making the Democrats fight with each other when, like, most of the Democrats agree on that stage about a lot of things, and everyone wants to see Kamala go after Biden, and that...
Oh, yeah, they're egging it on. Remember they were saying that Biden wasn't going to be as nice this time, and I think, you know... What do they expect him to do? Put on some boxing gloves and go after people? Like, that's not going to happen.
I was disappointed I didn't get to watch the second round of debates. That was just a bummer because I enjoy watching that stuff. I've watched all the clips I could, but it's all other people's commentary or CNN's. Like,
it was just a lot. I mean, you really couldn't sit there. Outside of what I told you before, it's like the top three, easy to pick out, you know, and I think it's just more or less the name recognition and, like, the polling just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all great stuff.
Well, we're going to wrap up our first episode there.
For sure this time.
And, guys, thank you for joining in. And we encourage you to be allies of our show.
Yes.
And that does not mean to blindly follow. Please disagree if you so choose. The one thing I would ask everyone to do, if you're going to comment on things, please try to cite your sources for where your arguments come from.
Give us something.
We're going to try to perpetuate...
Thoughtful comments.
And I hope you guys come back. We're going to do an episode where we talk about things we like about Trump.
Yep.
So we're going to...
It's going to be a whirlwind of things. All kinds of topics.
Yep.
Great stuff.
And, we'll dive in. We'll talk about other things. We want to know what you want us to talk about. And other than that, we've been friends for a long time. So it's just us catching up.
Doing us.
Yeah.
You're going to hear about the kids, the fam.
I'm surprised you didn't hear the kids tonight.
Yeah.
My daughter's teething.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
It's tough.
You can see the tooth just, like, pushing through the gums. Ugh. Anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know when this is going to be up. I'm going to say it's very soon, but that is the future for us and the past for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you listen, enjoy.
Hope you enjoy.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, everything. Seek us out. More information to come on other venues and maybe just a strictly audio podcast. So stay tuned.
Oh, and keep up to date with us by following us on Facebook at Brent&ChrisTalk. We've been putting polls out. We'd love for you to be a part of that. And
if you want to hear about a different poll, let us know. We'll get it out there.
Yeah, if you have an idea. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, night.